what you're doing investment wise right now. Like obviously a bunch of people sold off yesterday and we know all that. And if you look at the weekly chart, it pretty much seems like, it retouched the lows on a wick and stuff like that. But basically the ability to hold right now and just realizing that holding is, I mean, I don't want to say it's as good as buying. Obviously, if you would have dry powder, the few of us that actually still do at this point, it'd be great to ape it into that. But having the fortitude to be able to hold right now. You okay? Sorry. Just having the ability to hold right now is paramount. Like being able to do that. And I know it's hard. It's tough to sit on your hands, watch the investments go down. It's especially hard if you're like us that have all the confidence in the world and you're like, I'm going to double down. I'm going to buy as much as I can. And you're like fresh out of powder, obviously. But yeah, just talk about that. If you want to look at the pulse chart just real quick, I may have to wrap up here shortly, but if you want to look at it real quick or just talk about from our perspective and just seeing the chart go down and that feeling bad and how we might approach buying at these levels and stuff. How do you feel about that?
Well, but first, did you see the tweet that was like, I don't know, an hour ago?
No. Is it about the PulseX buy and burn? I did see that.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw that or not, or took anything out of that, or if it was just a random. I don't see anything crazy from that. Satoshi's vision wasn't everyone giving their keys to middlemen. I think that was, the point of his tweet. But yeah, well, let's take a look at the. Let's go to here. Let's take a look at the chart. We'll just pull up PulseChain for now. And
okay. Yeah, I did see that tweet. Yeah, just basically hyping up PulseX. I mean, I think he seems to be feeling pretty much fine about everything. So
yeah. So what I'm seeing yesterday, obviously we had let's measure this because it went, it was only 40%, 41% pullback, which I say only, but then it retraced 20% fairly immediately, even before the next daily candle started. That then went on up to the majority of it back up to the 406256, and it's pulled back since down to the 405267 right now. It looks like 5275. So yeah, I mean, it was immediately bought up. I do have some dry powder, and I was hoping that a lot of people hadn't heard this yet. I was waiting another day or so to let it fully settle, but it looks like a lot of people just bought it right away. So they weren't even giving it that full time. I had some money sitting on a stable pool that I was going to pull out, and I was saving it for a rainy day, and I was kind of thinking this one might be it, but
it's raining.
Yeah, I mean,
it's raining today.
It is raining. It is raining. But again, the clouds kind of went away pretty quickly as far as I can see. Now, again, it did get bought back up and then immediately sold back down. So, we may be in for this level here for a short time of bouncing back and forth. There was some action, not a whole lot, but back in September, these levels were kind of interesting. They were definite rejection levels here back in November too. So, we'll see how this all plays out in the next couple of days. My feeling was that a lot of people may not hear about this right away. Not everybody's on X every day and whatnot, but I think there could be some still cascading effects coming within the next couple of days. Where we could see this bounce around a little bit, but I am pleased that we didn't get anywhere near the lows back in the 403 area. It touched the 4.2, like I said, and kind of rejected pretty quickly. So good to see that support anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and Anchovy says in the chat, handsome chart, green again. Yeah, I mean, it did just hit that level of support. You can still see the uptrend and everything. And, here's the difference, too. I heard somebody mention this. with the SEC lawsuit being filed, that was in the midst of 2023. Like things were not in an overall macro super bullish uptrend yet. So
Mhm.
we saw Pulse go to lows over that time. Now we did see Pulse retouch it earlier this year, a couple of months ago. But now we're in an overall bull trend, you know. So I wouldn't want to be caught selling at these levels and on news
No.
like, or be messing around or shorting anything anywhere. It's just not
Yeah.
traditional practice, you know.
Well, somebody said, Stephen here, price action on Pulse X is massive. Had to increase my slippage to buy more. Apparently it's, you know, things are moving pretty quickly. So
Right.
that is a good call if you are trying to get in quickly at certain levels. Don't forget to, you know, increase the slippage a little bit. Don't go too crazy, or you'll probably get met with some bots that are in there taking advantage. So be careful of it at least. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
and Archie also says, in some ways, getting the Jeters out now is better for us, which I agree with. You know, you are going to get some non-believers out. Um, you know, is this the final capitulation, the final washout of the lettuce hands? Could very well be. So, you know, we can always hope for that, man. You know, the more people that get out at some of these low levels, they're not there, they're not solid, they don't believe in it fully. They only bought it because someone told them to. You know, those type of situations, and they're the ones that are going to take profit at 5x and hurt it later. So better they're out now.
Yeah, and that's something we've talked about over the course of this entire blockchain's existence. Is like when people are selling at those lower levels before we go up later on, it's best to just get it out of the way now. And here's the thing: I mean, this is short-term price action. Like, this is something that
Oh yeah.
happened on a big candle over the course of a day. We 1 year from now, or even 6 months from now, wherever this chart is, I think is likely where it's going to be regardless of this happened on this day or not. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like that's the whole point of when in doubt, zoom out. I mean, that's literally why people say that, because things eventually end up to where they're going to be, regardless of intraday trading. That's Frank Molina talks about that all the time. And whenever we've had him on the channel, he talks about that. I mean, the chart is going to be where it's going to be at some point next year, whether this little thing happened here today or not, you know. And as people have said, show me the chart and I'll tell you the news, you know. I mean, that's just kind of what we're seeing right now. And
Yep.
it doesn't look too bad. And in terms of like Archie or whoever was commenting about trying to buy in the liquidity and stuff, I always have this debate with myself. Like when something like this happens out of nowhere, I activate in my mind again, like, oh, how should I try to buy with a credit card somewhere? Like, if you don't have dry powder, like where to hurry up and do that. And you remember, like, change now, you can do it, and it seems relatively straightforward, and it is, but you got to look in at the baked in fees that you're getting with that as well and determine if that's actually worth it for you. Because I could have sniped near the lows of that dip yesterday, which here we are again today, still at it. So you got to keep that in mind. Will are we going to just bounce right out of here or hang around for a week? Maybe you will have dry powder by then. So be careful, I would say to people, about looking into the credit card options that are out there, because you're going to get, like, change now, there's like an 8% fee. And that was whether I was buying Ethereum, Pulse directly, which they don't even have enough liquidity to even, it only was like letting you buy like $300 or something. So whatever you're buying, there's like a baked in fee of 8%. And once you figure all that stuff out, you figure out if your credit card company is going to call it a cash advance, maybe instead of a regular charge, you might have a couple of gigantic fees on your hands, and it may not have even been worth it to do. So that's just kind of me talking about my experience trying to snipe the lows if you don't have dry powder, but it may not always be worth it to do that, is all I'm saying.
Did you hear about I don't know what was going on. Yes, I guess yesterday was yeah, it was yesterday was the 24th. Did you catch the here, let me share this just in case anybody saw it. This is the wrapped pulse on Ethereum chart.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Why were people buying wrapped pulse up. Like it shot up like crazy. Um, it it shot up yesterday. I don't remember what time it was, but I mean, it was up 58% at one point.
Yeah, so I don't know what that was about. I saw people tweeting about that. I don't know if that was people mistakenly just buying it on maybe not even, I mean, obviously it'd be mistakenly, but not knowing what they're doing or knowing how to get the pulse chain and buying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have to think it was. Yeah,
Oh, maybe.
it
What's that? You cut out.
went
To what?
like it went to sack rate or above it, I believe.
It went above. Yeah, it went above sack rate.
Yeah.
It went way above it. So, yeah, I just didn't know if you had heard anything. I guess someone's Brandon says it's because the bridge was clogged. And
Yeah.
people were trying to buy it over there. So, yeah, the liquidity is I don't know what the liquidity is like over there. Can we see that? It doesn't really show it on here, so I would have to. No, it doesn't show. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I thought that was very, very interesting, and
I just saw this comment earlier. The digital donkey, both Richard and Hex can be locked up for 15 years.
I saw that. I did see that too.
I didn't see that till now. No, the RA's question.
It's not. It is not a scam. So it's wrapped pulse. So it is pulse that has been sent over from PulseChain to the Ethereum chain to kind of strengthen liquidity. So if you buy wrapped pulse on the ETH side and send it through the bridge over to PulseChain, it will unwrap it for you. So it's not a scam. I mean, make sure you have the right ticker, obviously. Double check the contract address, because I'm sure there are some fake ones out there, but it is real pulse. It's just been wrapped and moved over to Ethereum. So hopefully that helps. Check the contract address though.
And in a pinch, much like these people yesterday, you can buy that on there before you bridge it over. I mean, I've done it before, actually. Like, if there's, rarely are there issues with the bridge, but obviously in a moment like yesterday, you could see why that would happen. And then, yeah, you could just, and plus ETH Gwei was like 6 or something late last night when I was looking. So
yeah,
still a horrible swap fee compared to PulseChain's fees. But if you wanted to buy WPLS on ETH and then just bridge it over, you always could. So
yeah. Let's take a look here at just take a look at the hex chart, because it suffered as well and it had a very similar retracement, but it went all the way down. It lost the penny status at one point at 0.008. So it's all the way back up to 1.5 cents. So essentially it did double from the bottom of this dip. You could have bought an easy double.
Yeah, I think we're going to continue to see this volatility for a few days. I mean, obviously right now, today has been a little bit less volatile than yesterday when you don't know where the knife's falling to. But once those bids got caught, and now we're seeing it at about a little over 50% of sack rate, I think we're probably just going to see some continued volatility here. And to your point earlier when we were talking, tomorrow's Monday. So, and again, we're right before Christmas, which is another reason I think a lot of this is happening. But, how many will that be? I'm with you. I wouldn't think that, Monday and someone just finds out about this and goes to sell. I mean, I don't think that just turning the page till tomorrow will make anything huge happen. But I think we'll see some volatility here over the next couple of days while people wait for news, wait for some other shoe to drop. Maybe there's could have positive news on the horizon of the SEC case, and that's why we're seeing this happen. So